Good morning, Phil. Chodesh Tov.
Morning, Chodesh Tov.
Good morning.
Okay,
Gemora.
very good. So we are on 106B. Kufa Amud base, and we are let's see. We got up to the ace bay. Where is the ace bay?
You've actually 3 words before that. Because we really didn't say that Omri Ganav Haganav.
Okay. Okay, so let's
Saying Ganav and Haganav.
Omre, Ganav, and Ha-Ganav. What's that all about? So let's let's retrace our steps over here. What happened was like this. Step 1 is that we're talking about a din of Rabbi Yochanan, I believe. Is it Rabbi Yochanan? One of the Amoraim. Yeah, Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Chia Barab said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan that just like an outright ganav, if he's having stolen it, he shechs it or sells it to somebody, he doesn't pay only kefil, he pays dalad v'hei. So too will be the case of a toantanis ganav. This person who's a custodian over here, and he just makes a claim that it was stolen from him, and therefore he's going to be patur because he's not a paid watchman, and if he's not a paid watchman, he's patur on and Geneva and Aveda, and he makes a claim that it was stolen from him, and then the witnesses come and say no, it wasn't stolen from him. He's got it in his backyard, and so really he's now got a din of being a toantanis ganav, and he swore falsely, and therefore he's going to pay kefil also. So therefore Rabbi Yochanan says he should also be chayav to pay dalad v'hei if thereafter he sells it or shechs it. And the Gemora asked the question: how can you compare it? He's a ganav even without having making a shvuah, but this toantanis ganav, the only case where he's going to be chayav to pay kefil is if not only he claimed that it was stolen from him, but he swore falsely to that effect as well. And on that, the Gemara answered, "Oh, but we have a hekesh. We have a hekesh between these 2 parshas, and therefore ein meshivin ala hekesh. We don't ask kashas on a hekesh and say, oh, it's we wouldn't be able to learn it out." And then the Gemara said, "Oh, this that you say it's a hekesh, that will accord well with the one man de Omar. He will be able to say that. But according to the other man de Omar, how is he going to be able to learn the hekesh? How is he going to be able to learn the hekesh? Because why? Because it's based upon the you have to have the hekesh in the right psukim. Those psukim that we looked up yesterday in Shmos, Vav and Zion, in Shmos Chav Beis. And so he doesn't learn those psukim. He learns otherwise. Another Manda Omer. El Manda Omer Hai im yimotze haganev im lo yimotze travayu beton tanis ganev. He learns both of the psukim in pasuk Vav and Zion are only talking about a ton tanis ganev. It's not talking about an outright ganev over there at all. So Michael and Maymar, how is he going to learn that there is a hekesh over here? So now that's the Gemora is going to provide an answer to that question of how this Manda Omar, who doesn't learn those psukim over there, Vav and Zion, are talking one about the Ganav, outright Ganav, and another about the Tontanis Ganav. So how he's going to learn the Hekesh? So the Gemara has another way for him to learn it. So we're going to start from Amre. Like Phil said, it's a 3-word answer. How do you like that? It took me 200 words, and now the Gemara is going to answer all of that in 3 words. See, and everybody's very thankful. Okay, we got to understand these 3 words. It might take 200 more words to explain these 3 words, but okay, let's see. So Roy, would you like to read the Amre?
It's 106 B2. Which Omre is it?
The Gemara answers on the right column, just above the space.
Oh, there's. All right. Okay. All right. Reb Yochanan, no, that's Reb Yochanan answers.
Before that,
Before that.
Gemara answers, it says, little paragraph before, they say. 106B2 on the left.
It's on the left column, near the bottom.
The left column, right. All right. They say Hekesh he? No, not that one.
Ganav.
Omre Ganav Haganav. He derives from the fact that the verse should have stated thief without the, but instead it stated the thief. The thief.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you're supposed to say.
All right, I see.
The Rashi, there is a Rashi on it somewhere. Let me see where it is. It's Ganav Hanaganav. There is a Rashi. It says Ganav Haganav. The thief, it should say the thief. Marubia, it's extra. The hay is extra. The hay, the at rabbi that has been added extra is betoin tanis ganav, to make sure to include, to make the case of the one who's claiming to be a thief. Yal thief and lay, we learn from this, call dine, all of the din of Geneva l'rabot, all the dins of thieves to include tashlumi kefo v'dalad v'hei, that it includes that the kefo and the dalad v'hei also apply to the toain tanis ganav in addition to the ganav.
Okay, so Rashi is explaining over here that the Gemara is answering that true, even though this Mandomer does not have a hekesh, which the hekesh will make this legal comparison between these 2 parshas of outright Ganav and the custodian who claims that it was stolen and then he swears falsely. But we got another way, according to him, that we're gonna skin the cat in a different way. There's many different ways to skin the cat, and if you like cats, then don't use that example. But whatever. There's another way to get that these 2 parshias are we could say that they have the same dinning. And Rashi's explaining based upon the principle of a riboy. And the riboy of the letter hey in the word haganav. It says in this pasuk over here, in pasuk one of these psukim, it says imotze haganav with a hey, and that hey is a riboy. It's coming to be marbe. It's coming to include something. The extra hey, it didn't really need to write it. We could have gotten along well enough without writing it and just say imotzeganev. If a ganav is found, why do you have to say if the ganav is found? Who's the ganav over here that we're talking about? So the hey is coming to marbe that even a toantanis ganav will have the same halacha as the ganav, the outright ganav, and therefore he will also have this din of daled v'hei. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now everything is good. We have defended Rabbi Yochanan from all the opinions. All the opinions will support Rabbi Yochanan. Yeah, they'll support Rabbi Yochanan.
Up to now.
Oh, but now we've got an Esvei. So it sounds like the Gemora asked a kasha on Rabbi Yochanan from a brisa. So let's go without further ado to Alan to read from the Esvei.
Okay, that's on page 106B2.
In the right column, the bottom, Rabbi Yochanan, is that ruling.
Rabbi Yochanan answers. Is that the one? The right column 106B2? Hacha? Is that it? Hacha? Hacha?
No, 106B2, the left column on the bottom.
The last line.
Rabbi Yochanan ruling is challenged. Rabbi Yochanan bar Abba Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Chia bar Abba challenged Rabbi Yochanan from the following brisa. Hechan Shorei. If one ant said to an unpaid custodian, "Where's my ox that I entrusted to your care?" The Nigra, the custodian replied, "It was stolen and I am exempt from payment." Mashbi Achor, and then the owner said to him, "I adjure you that your response is true." Or main, and the custodian said, "Amen." Or a deem, or so and afterwards the witnesses testified against the custodian that he aided himself. Mishalem, Tashlum May, Bayfell, the custodian pays the twofold payment for Horor, the Efashar, Zaris, Bosor, Belay, Now here, when it's impossible for even an olive volume of meat to be eaten without a ritual slaughter, it's obvious that the custodian who ate it must first have slaughtered it. But Torni, Shalem, Tashlume, Kefel. Yet the Baraisa teaches that he pays the twofold payment, which implies Tashlume, Befel, and the twofold payment he indeed pays. Tashlume or low, but the fourfold or partial payment he does not pay. Thus, we see that a custodian who claims that the deposit was stolen and slaughtered himself is not liable to the 4 or 5-fold payment.
Okay. We have
Is this Rashi part of it? This first one where it says Tashlume. The next thing it says that it says Mishalam Tashlumi Kefil, that he has to pay thee. Has to pay the Kefil. And that's saying the Toain. The Rashi on this is Betoain Tanis.
oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's
That's the case we're talking about.
yeah. Shalom Tashlumi Kefil. Right. Right. So Rashi's saying that he's just clarifying that this payment of kefil is going to be leveled upon this this custodian who swore falsely, and we're calling him a toan tanis ganav. When he swears falsely, he's got a din of a toan tanis ganav with the false shvua, and he's going to pay kefil. and so therefore, the Gemora says we see that in spite of the fact that how was it that the ganav, that the witnesses testified that the custodian, he was achlu, meaning that he ate the animal. He ate the animal. So the Gemara says, how do you eat an animal unless you do a shchita? We assume that this ganav was this custodian that swore falsely would not dream of eating anything from that animal unless it was shechted. So obviously it must have been shechted, and if so then really what we have here is a case of a toan tanis ganav who shechted the animal. And if so, according to Rabbi Yochanan, what should be the din of such a person? He should have to pay dalad v'hei, just like an outright ganav who shechted after he stole it would have to pay dalad v'hei. That's what Rabbi Yochanan says. But you see from this brisa, according to the Gemora, that this toan tanis ganav is only paying kefil, even though it seems uncontrovertible that there's not a shechita over here. The brisa didn't mention it, but we're understanding there must have been a shechita on behalf of the custodian. So if so, then that's this brisa is a citation of Rabbi Yochanan. And hence the language of the Gemara says Esive. So let's see if the Gemara has an answer for Rabbi Yochanan over here. There's the Gemara Hacha b'mayas kinan. Louis, you want to read Hacha b'mayas kinan?
Okay, Hacha b'mayas kinan. What are we dealing with here? Kagon she'ach al lo nevela. He ate nevela, meaning the animal was not slaughtered.
Right.
So if
So
the
that-
animal was not slaughtered, then he's not guilty of slaughtering it.
Right, so it's not a dollar for hay situation, but he still has to pay kafel.
Yeah, he ate it, but there was no slaughter. So according to that, that's why he's paying kafel and not dollar v'hei. There was no shchita because he ate nevela.
So what does that mean? That means, I mean, the animal was slaughtered. You can't eat it without slaughtering it, but it wasn't shechted. Is that the point? It wasn't kosher slaughter?
Oh, you mean what? That's an interesting question. In other words, is the obligation to pay dollar pay only if the shchita was a kosher shchita? If it's not a kosher shchita, then we don't pay dollar v'hei. That's a good question. Let's see how the Gemara continues over here.
Okay, the Gemara wonders why Rav Yochanan chose to reflect the challenge with this particular answer. Velishne le kagon she'achalo terefa. But let Rav Yochanan answer Reb Chia bar Ava that the Brisa deals with a case where the custodian ate it as a treifa.
As opposed to an avail.
A treifa means that the animal was damaged and didn't have more than a year to live.
There's a defect in it.
But we still
Yeah,
have the same problem, which was it saying? It's saying that he shechted it, but because it was a treifa, it was not a valid shechting, and therefore it's not considered to be shechting for the purposes of this law.
For the dollar and hay, that's what it seems to say. Let's see what Rashi says about it.
Yeah, let's
There's
see.
a long
Yeah,
line.
this is we have to. We're getting into the halachas of Daled Vehei, and we didn't study this, so we
Okay,
studied
so
in
it's-
Perik Meruba and we forgot.
But my
Okay.
problem is I don't see the difference whether it's a nevela or a treifa. It's the same thing.
Oh, in other words, what's the Gemara? Yeah, what's the point? The Gemara must have a point. What's the
Right.
You're saying? What's the point that the Gemara is saying? Lishnei le kagon she'aklu treifa.
Right.
Gemara is saying, and why didn't Rabbi Yochanan say that the Bryce is talking about that he ate the animal and it was a treifa, and so therefore what is that? How is that? How's that any better than saying what the Gemara already said, that he ate nevela? What's the
Right.
difference?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, we kind of view, most of the things we talk about here are really nevelas and not treifas, things that are shechted improperly. But as opposed to the treifa where the animal had this defect, which meant it wasn't going to be good. It was checked and wasn't good. Let's see what the Rashi says on it, if it clears it up though. Velishnele begonav no, I left the place. Velishnele kagon she'achlu treifa, and you should teach it that he ate a treifa. The Ika, that's Reb Shimon, and there is Reb Shimon, the pater, that makes him pater, behashochet for shechting. The nimtzet, you'll find a treifa. And if it's found to be a treifa, an animal with a defect that's not going to live it out, may tashlume dalad v'hei. That Reb Shimon's going to make him that from that shechtim, he's going to make him not be, he's not going to have to pay the 4 and 5. He says that happens above. Daf Amud Aleph, Daf Ayin Amud Aleph. The Mishneh Rabbi Yochanan, and now Rabbi Yochanan is going to come and teach for Rabbi Meir, like Rabbi Meir. Sfiralach, he explains to you the Amar Shchita She'ena Rufchui Le'achila, that it is a shchita which is not fitting to be eaten. The nishchata kahalachta, it was shechted according to halacha, shma shichta, shchita. It is called a shchita.
So Rashi is saying over here, I think we have enough to explain what's going on over here in the Gemara now with this Rashi. Okay, so let's explain what the Gemara was doing over here. The Gemara gave one answer on behalf of Rabbi Yochanan, and that answer is that this custodian over here, he ate nevela. Now, what does it mean that he ate nevela? It means that there wasn't any shchita. There was not a shchita. It was not a shchita, meaning to say, who's asking, was it an act of shchita, but the shchita wasn't kosher? I think that may be right. That even if he did a maisa shchita, but if the shchita wasn't was an invalid shchita, so it also is called nevela. It's also called nevela. He ate nevela, and like that, it sounds like the Gemara is saying that if so, that he made an invalid shchita. There was nothing wrong with the animal. The animal wasn't a treifa, but the shchita that he did was puzzle, and so it doesn't have a din of a shchita to be chayev, to make the guy chayev daled behei. He ate nevela, and he's going to pay kefil. He's not going to pay daled behei because it was not a shchita, meaning it was not a kosher shchita. It sounds like you got to have a kosher shchita to be chayev to pay daled behei. That's the first answer. On that, the Gemara is wondering, well, 1 second over here. Why did Rabbi Yochanan need to, why do we need to say that that's what Rabbi Yochanan will say? Why couldn't we say that Rabbi Yochanan will say, Kagon she'ochlu treifa? Meaning that the shchita itself was nothing invalid about the shchita, but what was invalid was that the animal was a treifa. The shchita will not matter a treifa to be able to eat it. So is that called a shchita that you're going to be chayiv on daled v'hei for? That's the machlokes between Reb Meir and Reb Shimon. That's what Rashi tells us. Rashi says the Shimon, the potter b'hashoket v'nipsis treifa, mitashlumi daled v'hei le'el. This is a Gemara on Daf Ayin. Sure enough, in Meruba, we learned this many moons ago, and according to Reb Shimon, if the even though the shchita was a proper shchita, but the animal was not a proper animal, it was a treifa. So it didn't successfully matter, the shchita didn't successfully matter that animal, lachila. In such a case, Reb Shimon holds that the ganev would be pater daled v'hei for having done a shchita on a treifa. So that would, according to Reb Shimon, that'll be a good answer. That we could say on behalf of Rabbi Yochanan. But there's only one problem with that, says Rashi. Not a problem, but if you want to explain why it is the Gemara answered the answer that it answered, Rashi says, Mishane Rabbi Yochanan to Reb Meir. the Gemara answered the answer on behalf of Rabbi Yochanan, which goes according to the view of Reb Meir, who disagrees with Reb Shimon. Reb Meir Spirale, because Reb Yochanan holds like over here. The Amar Shchita she'ena ru'uya lachila. If a shchita is done which doesn't make the animal fit to eat, but since it was shechted according to the halachas of shchita, the shchita itself was a valid act of shchita, shma shchita, the animal will not be allowed to be eaten, but the shchita, it has been a shchita, nafkamina, that he will be chayev to pay daled behei. So that would not be an answer for Rabbi Yochanan to give, because right? Because according to Reb Meir, that would he would be yes chayev daled behei over there, and so therefore Rabbi Yochanan gave that answer because he holds like Reb Meir.
So then why does it present Reb Yochanan's answer as an alternative?
No, the Gemara wants to know why we didn't answer. Why did we not answer on behalf of Rabbi Yochanan? Rabbi Yochanan is not talking over here, first of all. Right? The Gemara asked the kasha on Rabbi Yochanan's shita, but Rabbi Yochanan is not here in the base medrash over here when the Gemara asked that question. He's not here to defend himself. So the Gemara is defending him. So the Gemara's defense of Rabbi Yochanan was that the price is talking about a case where the ganav ate nevela, meaning it wasn't a kosher shchita. And that seems to be, according to everybody, that you won't pay daled behei. And the Gemara wanted to know, well, why didn't we answer on behalf of Rabbi Yochanan? Why didn't we answer a different answer? Kagon she'ochla treifa. On that, see, we didn't. Maybe we got to read the next few words of the Gemara. Rashi already previewed for us the whole thing over here, so we put it all together. But the Gemara didn't actually answer the question that the Gemara just raised. How come we, the Gemara, didn't answer this answer for Rabbi Yochanan to defend himself against the Brisa and say Kagon she'ochlu treifa? Why not? So what's the Gemara answer? Did we read that part yet?
No. It's on 106b3, very, very top. Gemara answers.
Okay, so who's reading over here? Back to Roy.
The Rebbe Meir. Reb Yochanan preferred to interpret the Brisa in accordance with Reb Meir. Da'amah shechita she'ina re'uyi shameh shechita. Reb Meir says that a slaughter that is not fit, Askell says that does not render the animal permissible for consumption, is termed a slaughter. Thus, even if the animal is a treifa, one becomes liable to the fourfold or fivefold payment for slaughtering it.
Right, so this is a machlokes Reb Shimon and Reb Meir, and the Gemara is saying that the reason why we didn't say this answer for Reb Yochanan is because Reb Yochanan holds like Reb Meir. he holds that such a shchita, even though it doesn't matter lachila because the animal's a treifa, it has a status, has a din of being a shchita. What's the nafkamina that it has a status of being a shchita? It's not matching the animal lachila. The animal's a treifa. So how do you call it a? What's the relevance of calling it a shchita? But there is a relevance. There's a relevance to this halacha of daled behei. It's called a shchita for the purposes of being machayev daled behei to this Tanas Gana, and therefore Rabbi Yochanan didn't answer this answer to defend. The Gemora didn't answer this answer for Rabbi Yochanan because the Gemora knew that Rabbi Yochanan holds like Reb Meir. He doesn't hold like Reb Shimon. See, according to Reb Shimon, this answer would be a valid answer because Reb Shimon holds that a shchita she'ena roya is lo shma shchita. It's such a shchita that doesn't matter for achila. Even if it was the halachas of shchita, it was a good shchita, but the animal's a treifa. So it's not matering the animal achila. That doesn't have a shame of a shchita whatsoever, says Rabbi Yochanan, even for purposes of payment of daled behei. If it doesn't matter lachila, then he's not chayav daled behei for doing such a shchita on the animal. So therefore that would be an acceptable answer to explain why this Bryce holds that he only pays kefil this ton tanas ganav. But that answer cannot be given on behalf of Rabbi Yochanan because he doesn't hold like Reb Shimon. He holds like Reb Meir. Yay!
It's on time anyway. Take care. Shabbat shalom. Let me get that phone.
Okay. Bye,
All right,
Phil.
thank you, Rabbi.
Good Shabbos. Chodesh Tov.
Chodesh Tov. So next week, we're going to be on this schedule still.
Next week we're going to be on this schedule. Yeah. Just a note. I'm going to have Bez Hashem a bris of a grandson on
Mazel
Yom
Tov.
Revi.
Mazel Tov.
So I don't know how available I'm going to be on Yom Revi.
Okay.
We'll see how it. We'll see how it develops. Bez Hashem.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, thank you.
All the best, everybody. Chodesh Tov.
Chodesh Tov.
Chodesh Tov. Chodesh Tov.